On our 12th wedding anniversary, instead of a gift, I opened my wife's group chat labeled Project Freedom. Inside, her mom and brothers planned how to kick me out of my own house, serve me divorce papers at dinner, and film my reaction for Instagram. They wanted the world to watch me crumble. What they didn't know? I wasn't the fool they thought. My name is Nathan. I'm 38, a software engineer living in Ohio. I've been married to Erin for 12 years. I thought we had a stable life, a house, decent income, no kids but a dog we spoiled like one. Erin worked in real estate. Her family? A loud, overbearing bunch who always looked down on me. I put up with it because I loved her. Or at least, I thought I did. 3 weeks ago, Erin begged me to help transfer her files to her new phone. She wasn't paying attention, and while syncing, I accidentally saw her laptop light up with WhatsApp notifications. A chat named Project Freedom. Curious, I clicked. What I found made my stomach drop. The chat wasn't between coworkers. It was Erin, her mom Darlene, and her two brothers, Ryan and Cole. The very first message I read. We'll have the papers ready Friday night. He won't see it coming. Ryan, make sure the movers are on standby. My pulse spiked. I scrolled further. They had planned this for half a year. Every message was a new dagger. Erin wrote things like, I can't wait to watch his face when he realizes it's over. We should record it for Instagram Reels. Get that sweet karma. Darlene chimed in. I'll bring the lawyer. Don't forget to pack his junk. Storage unit is ready. Cole added, I'll handle the locks. He'll never set foot in this house again. They were dead serious. They had arranged to have my belongings hauled to a storage unit across town. They were timing it perfectly with what Erin had been calling our anniversary dinner. Instead of a celebration, they wanted to serve me divorce papers in front of her family, laugh, and upload the humiliation online. I kept scrolling, all rising in my throat. Erin had even bragged. 12 years of pretending to love him. Finally free. For a few minutes, I just sat there, staring at the screen. My chest hurt, but not from heartbreak. From rage. They thought I was some clueless pushover. They thought I wouldn't fight back. They thought wrong. See, I'd been preparing for years. Not specifically for this, but I'd always had the feeling her family never truly accepted me. The whispers at gatherings, the way conversations stopped when I walked in, the constant comments about Erin settling. I had made sure everything, the house, the accounts, the assets, was in my name. Erin never noticed, because she assumed I was as dumb as they said. The more I read, the colder I became. They mocked me endlessly in that chat. Ryan wrote, Guy's a joke. Who marries my sister with no prenup? He'll crawl back to his mommy. Erin replied with laughing emojis. Darlene said, his own family doesn't even like him. This will be easy. That was the last straw. I started taking screenshots of every single message. Hundreds of them, stretching back months. Their master plan was laid out in black and white. They had coordinated moving companies, lawyers, even a social media hashtag. Hashtag Freedom Dinner. Can you believe that? They wanted to trend off my destruction. I didn't explode. I didn't confront Erin. I played dumb. For 3 weeks, I smiled at her, kissed her goodnight, and pretended to be oblivious. All while gathering evidence. By the time Erin asked me, what time should we leave for our anniversary dinner? I almost laughed in her face. Because while she thought she was luring me into a trap, I was already setting mine. I knew the storage unit number. I knew the lawyer's name. I even knew which movers they hired. I had everything lined up. Friday night, I was supposed to walk into my own execution. Instead, they were about to walk into mine. Friday morning arrived, and Erin was practically glowing. She kissed me on the cheek, humming while making coffee, as if nothing sinister was brewing beneath that smile. I watched her stir cream into her cup, pretending not to notice how she double-checked her phone every few seconds. She thought she was brilliant. By noon, I was in my truck, headed across town to the storage unit they'd rented. Funny thing, they'd opened it under my own credit card. Ryan had swiped my info once when I helped him move last year. He must have assumed I never noticed the charge. But I noticed everything. I had been watching the rental for weeks. When I rolled the door up, my blood went cold. My belongings, my tools, winter gear, old books, electronics, all carefully stacked inside. They'd been moving things gradually, piece by piece while I was at work. Erin had been playing the perfect actress at home while her brothers were hauling my life out the back door. I didn't panic. I grinned. Because they thought they were clever, but I was 3 steps ahead. I backed my truck in and started loading everything. Took it all. Every single box. Every tool. Every memory. Then, instead of leaving the unit empty, I filled it with junk I'd been meaning to throw away for years. Busted printers, tangled wires, old clothes, stacks of worthless paperwork. By the time I locked the unit back up, it looked like a hoarder's nightmare. But I wasn't done. On the way home, I called the moving company listed in their chat. I used my most panicked client voice, telling them the job was off, and I'd already called the police about fraudulent activity. The dispatcher stuttered, apologized, and promised to cancel immediately. That was one domino down. Now came the fun part. That evening, Erin floated into the kitchen in a red dress, hair curled, looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine. She slipped her arms around my neck. Ready for tonight? I forced a smile. Can't wait. We drove to her brother Ryan's place. From the driveway, I could see shadows moving inside, silhouettes against the curtains. The trap was set. Erin was buzzing with anticipation, practically vibrating in her seat. The door opened. Ryan, Cole, and Darlene stood there, grinning like hyenas. Marissa, Erin's cousin, had her phone out, already recording. I stepped inside, and Vivian's lawyer friend appeared from the kitchen with a folder in hand. Showtime. Ryan smirked. Surprise, Nate. We've got some paperwork for you. I looked around the room, letting the silence stretch, then dropped my bomb. Before we start filming, you might want to check your storage unit. Darlene's smile cracked. Erin's face drained of color. Cole frowned. What the hell are you talking about? I pulled out my phone and started reading their own messages aloud. The screenshots glowed on my screen. Film it for Instagram. Make him a meme. Another. We'll change the locks before midnight. Their voices filled the room in their own handwriting. The silence that followed was delicious. Erin snapped first. You spied on me? That's illegal. I raised my brows. Oh, I spied. Or maybe I just found the chat where you plotted to ruin my life. Ryan lunged forward, face red, but Darlene stopped him. Nathan, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. I cut in. You wanted to make me homeless. You wanted a show. Congratulations, you're starring in it. Marissa lowered her phone slowly, panic flickering across her face. The shouting started. Erin tried to backpedal, claiming it was just venting. Darlene blamed her daughter's stress. Ryan screamed that I was pathetic, holding Erin back. Cole threatened to throw me out himself. But then, the twist. While they were yelling, the lawyer cleared his throat and muttered, Erin, we can't serve him these papers. Everyone froze. Erin whipped around. What? Why not? The lawyer hesitated. Because his name is the only one on the house deed. If we serve him here, it's invalid. Legally, he's the homeowner. You have no standing. The room exploded again. Erin shrieked at the lawyer. Darlene demanded answers. Ryan cursed under his breath. And I laughed. Out loud. That laugh was gasoline on the fire. Erin lunged at me, screaming, but Ryan grabbed her back. Not here, he hissed. I calmly slipped my phone into my pocket and said, This little ambush of yours. It's over. But here's the fun part. It's just beginning for me. And with that, I walked out. Erin chased me into the driveway, her heels clicking on the pavement. She grabbed my arm. Nate, please, we can talk. I didn't mean it like that. I looked her dead in the eyes. 12 years, Erin. 12 years of lies. Now you'll see what honesty looks like. I got into my truck and drove away. But I wasn't heading home. No, I had one more stop to make. One that would twist the knife even deeper. Because while they thought they were planning a family takedown, I had been gathering secrets of my own. And tomorrow morning, those secrets would explode. That night, I barely slept. My blood boiled, my thoughts racing. 12 years of my life. 12 years with a woman who looked me in the eye every day and called me love, while secretly plotting my public execution. How do you even process that? You don't. You weaponize it. By dawn, I was at my desk, laptop glowing. I wasn't going to sit around licking my wounds while Erin and her clan tried to regroup. I was going to crush them, quickly, surgically, without mercy. First target, Erin. She worked at Keller & Hart, a mid-sized real estate firm. Her big brag? She had exclusive clients, families who trusted her with high-value properties. Except she had no idea that 2 of those clients were also my web development customers. And they liked me a lot more than they liked her fake smiles. I drafted 2 emails. The first, polite but detailed, explained how Erin and her family attempted to defraud me, complete with screenshots of her bragging about kicking me out of my own home. The second, a highlight reel of her group chat messages. I hit send. By 9 a.m., her phone was blowing up. She stormed into my office, face flushed, eyes wild. "What the hell did you do?" I leaned back, arms folded. "Just a little truth sharing." "You don't like truth, Erin?" She slammed her fists on my desk. "You're going to ruin me." I smiled coldly. "No, Erin. You ruined yourself the second you thought humiliating me online was entertainment." Her phone buzzed again. She glanced down, and I saw it, the panic flooding her features. Her boss wanted an emergency meeting. Checkmate number 1. But I wasn't finished. Next, Ryan. The golden boy. He ran a small contracting business, Ryan's Renovations. Except Ryan wasn't exactly ethical. During the past year, he'd borrowed equipment from job sites, used unlicensed subcontractors, and cut corners so badly he made houses look like Jenga towers. How do I know? Because his foreman, Pete, used to drink at the same bar as me. And Pete liked to talk when he was drunk. I spent an hour drafting an anonymous tip to the state contractors board, attaching dates, addresses, and even photos Pete had shown me on his phone of Ryan's half-baked work. When I hit send, I could practically hear the sound of Ryan's ego cracking. By noon, I got confirmation. The board had opened an official investigation. Boom. Checkmate number 2. But Cole. Oh, Cole was the easiest. He loved gambling. Loved it so much that half the guys at the local poker room joked about him being their donor. Erin once mocked me for being too frugal, yet her brother was pawning his watch last month just to buy in. So I made one phone call. To his lender. I innocently reported suspicious activity involving his accounts, including multiple cash withdrawals that looked like laundering. The lender immediately flagged him for review. Within hours, Cole's credit line froze. His little gambling empire? Gone overnight. 3 strikes. 3 blows. By the time the sun went down, Erin's entire family was reeling. But the best part? They had no clue how bad it was about to get. That evening, Erin came home, mascara streaked, hair a mess. She looked like someone had taken a wrecking ball to her life. And I didn't feel even 1 ounce of pity. She threw her purse on the couch. "You don't understand, Nate. My boss suspended me today. They said the screenshots made me a liability. I could lose my license." I tilted my head. "You mean the screenshots where you planned to destroy your husband? Those?" Tears welled in her eyes. "It was just talk. Just family drama. I didn't mean it." I laughed. The sound shocked even me. "You didn't mean it? You coordinated movers, lawyers, and a hashtag. Hashtag Freedom Dinner wasn't just talk, Erin. It was an execution plan." She broke down sobbing, but I walked right past her. I had one more call to make. Because there was still Darlene, the queen bee, the woman who treated me like a stray dog her daughter stupidly dragged home. She was always talking about her connections, about how powerful she was in this town. I decided to test that power. I dialed a number I hadn't used in years, a buddy who worked in county records. I asked him a simple question. "Can you check into Darlene Meyer's property filings?" 30 minutes later, he called back, laughing. "Dude, she's been skimming off her late husband's estate. Filed bogus exemptions. Looks like fraud." Fraud. The sweetest word I'd ever heard. I sat back, grinning ear to ear. Perfect. File it. By midnight, the wheels were turning. Erin was suspended. Ryan was under investigation. Cole was broke. And Darlene? She was about to have the county breathing down her neck. And me? I was sitting in my chair, sipping whiskey, watching it all unfold. I had one thought circling my head like a mantra. You wanted to make me a meme? Let's see how viral your downfall gets. By Friday morning, Erin's family was already unraveling. But I wasn't just looking for revenge. I wanted collapse. Public, humiliating, irreversible collapse. And money? Money is where it hurts the most. Erin stumbled into the kitchen around 7 a.m., her phone buzzing nonstop. Her eyes were bloodshot. She looked like she hadn't slept. "They froze my accounts, Nate," she screamed, waving her phone in my face. "Every card declined." "What did you do?" I sipped my coffee calmly. "Oh, you mean the joint accounts you thought we had? Newsflash, they were never joint. My name only. You've been living on my credit for years without noticing. Cute, right?" Her face twisted, a mix of rage and disbelief. "That's impossible. We signed." I cut her off. "We signed nothing. You never read the paperwork." You trusted me. That was your mistake. She collapsed into a chair, shaking. For the first time, I saw it hit her. She had nothing. Not the house. Not the accounts. Not even the car, because guess whose name was on the title? Mine. But I wasn't finished. Ryan was next. Around 10 a.m., the contractors board posted a notice online. His license was under active review pending investigation. I couldn't resist. I forwarded the link to every major client he had. Within hours, 3 of them pulled their contracts. He called me, his voice shaking with fury. You son of a, you're ruining me. Do you know how many people I employ? I chuckled. Funny, Ryan. You didn't care about my job when you were planning to live stream me getting evicted. So tell me, how's unemployment taste? He hung up with a scream. Music to my ears. Then there was Cole. His frozen accounts were only the appetizer. See, he'd been borrowing money from a friend, except that friend was actually a loan shark. The kind who doesn't take bounce checks lightly. And thanks to a few anonymous messages I sent, that shark now knew Cole had no funds coming. By the afternoon, Cole was blowing up Erin's phone, begging her to cover him before things got ugly. She ignored him because she was drowning herself. And that left the queen, Darlene. I'd been saving her for the finale. She prided herself on managing her late husband's estate. Big house, fancy car, brunches at country clubs she couldn't afford. But all of it. Smoke and mirrors. I had proof she'd been double-claiming exemptions and funneling money through shell accounts. So I dropped the nuke. I filed a detailed report with the IRS tip line, attaching every record my buddy from county had pulled. Fraud, tax evasion, misrepresentation. At 3 p.m., she called me. Her voice wasn't the booming, I'm in charge tone she usually used. It was flat, cold, almost pleading. Nathan, you've made your point. Enough is enough. You're going to destroy us all. I leaned back, letting silence stretch. Then I said, destroy you? Darlene, I'm not destroying you. I'm just pulling the masks off. You've been living a lie for years. I'm just letting everyone else see it. She whispered, you don't know what you're playing with. I smirked. Neither did you. And I hung up. That evening, Erin tried again. She cooked dinner, lit candles, poured wine like we were celebrating. She even put on the necklace I bought her for our 5th anniversary. She sat across from me, tears in her eyes. Nate, please. I'll sign anything. A postnup, a contract, whatever you want. Just don't leave me with nothing. I laughed so hard I nearly choked. A contract? Erin, you already signed one the day you plotted my execution. It was called Project Freedom. And guess what? You're free now. Free of everything. Her hand shook as she set down her glass. You can't be serious. Oh, I'm dead serious. I leaned in, lowering my voice. By Monday, you won't just be broke. You'll be famous. Everyone in this town will know exactly who you are. And I won't have to lift a finger. Your own family will finish the job for me. Because here's the kicker. I had been leaking bits of their meltdown online. Carefully, anonymously. Screenshots of their #freedom dinner plan showed up on a local gossip forum. Photos of Ryan's, under review, license circulated on Facebook. A rumor about Cole owing money to dangerous people made its way through community chat groups. By the end of the weekend, their reputations would be radioactive. And the best part? Every post, every screenshot, every rumor was true. I didn't invent a thing. I just let their filth rise to the surface. As Erin sat there, shaking, whispering, please, Nate, don't do this, I realized something that made me grin. I wasn't just winning. I was rewriting the story. They wanted a viral spectacle of my humiliation. Instead, they were the spectacle. And the world was just starting to watch. By Saturday morning, my phone was buzzing nonstop with updates. The town grapevine was on fire. Screenshots of Erin's family chat had spread like gasoline, and people were eating it up. #freedom dinner was trending locally, but not in the way they imagined. Instead of me being the fool, they were the punchline. Ryan had clients demanding refunds. Cole was dodging loan sharks. Darlene's estate queen image was crumbling under whispers of tax fraud. And Erin? She was drowning in humiliation, her reputation shredded in a single weekend. But what none of them knew was that I still held the ace. The secret I'd been sitting on for years. See, Erin always told me she married me because I was safe. Dependable. What she never told me was that when she was 22, pregnant and terrified, it wasn't mine. I found out 2 years ago, by accident. A buddy of mine who worked at a hospital recognized her name and casually mentioned she'd been admitted years ago for a miscarriage. Dates didn't match. I pressed him for details. The father? Not me. Not even close. It was Ryan's best friend. That little secret had been buried by her family. Smothered. They pushed Erin to marry me fast, presenting me as the responsible option while quietly covering her mess. She lost the baby before I ever knew. And they never told me. For years, I carried that knowledge like a blade in my back pocket. I never confronted her. I just waited. And now? Now was the perfect time to cut. At noon, while Erin was out trying to salvage what was left of her career, I scheduled a blast email. Not anonymous. My name right at the top. Subject line, the truth about the Myers family. Attached, the screenshots of Project Freedom, links to Ryan's license review, and a single scan document, Erin's hospital intake form. The one that proved everything. Recipients? Over 200 people. Neighbors, co-workers, church members, local business groups. Everyone who mattered in their carefully constructed social circle. At 12:15 p.m., the detonation went off. By 12:30, my phone was exploding with messages. Some from shocked friends. Some from strangers cheering me on. Some from people admitting they'd always suspected something was off with that family. By 1 p.m., Erin stormed through the door, face pale, shaking. She was holding her phone like it was burning her hand. "You bastard," she screamed. "You told everyone? Everyone knows about. I cut her off. About the baby that wasn't mine? About the marriage you built on a lie? About the family that treated me like dirt while hiding skeletons in every closet? Yeah, Erin. Everyone knows now." She staggered back, like I'd punched her. Her voice cracked. I was young. I made a mistake. I didn't know what to do. I laughed bitterly. "So you let your family push me into a sham marriage and spent 12 years calling me pathetic behind my back? Spare me, Erin." She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing so hard I thought she might choke. But I didn't feel pity. Not anymore. Because this wasn't just about her lies. It was about the empire of deception her whole family had built. And now, piece by piece, I was tearing it down. At 3 p.m., Ryan showed up at my door, red-faced and snarling. He shoved me against the wall. "You think you're clever, huh? You think you can ruin us?" I stared him dead in the eye. "I don't think, Ryan. I know." Before he could swing, a neighbor shouted from across the street. "Hey, Ryan. How's that license review going?" Laughter echoed. He froze, humiliated, realizing even strangers knew. He released me, muttered something I didn't catch, and stormed off. By 5 p.m., Cole's car was gone from Erin's mom's driveway. Rumor was, the loan shark had finally caught up with him. By 7 p.m., Darlene was spotted at the courthouse, looking like a ghost. Word spread fast. The IRS had officially opened an audit. And Erin? She stayed locked in the bedroom, phone buzzing nonstop, while her world collapsed around her. That night, as I sat on the porch with a beer, the cool air brushing my face, I thought about the irony. They wanted to make me a spectacle, a meme, a broken man crying on the internet. Instead, they were the circus. Their secrets were the show. And the audience? The entire town. But the finale hadn't even started yet. Because the eviction notices were ready. And come Monday, Erin and her family were going to find out what rock bottom really looked like. Monday morning came like a thunderclap. I was already dressed in a crisp shirt, sipping coffee on the porch when 3 process servers pulled up to the curb. Each carried a thick envelope, and each had a different destination. At exactly 9 a.m., the first server handed Erin an eviction notice at her office, in front of her coworkers. The second delivered Ryan's foreclosure warning at his job site, right as a client tour was underway. The third slipped a packet into Darlene's trembling hands at her country club brunch table, shattering her illusion of control in front of her rich friends. The humiliation was nuclear. By noon, my phone was flooded with texts. Erin begged me to reconsider. Ryan threatened me. Darlene demanded a meeting to negotiate. I ignored every word. Because the truth? The fallout had only just started. At 3 p.m., Erin came storming into the house. Her mascara streaked, her hair wild. She clutched the eviction papers like they were burning her skin. "You can't do this," she screamed. "You can't just throw me out. I gave you 12 years of my life." I stood calm, almost serene. 12 years you spent lying, Erin. 12 years of plotting, mocking, and playing me for a fool. Now you're free. Isn't that what Project Freedom was all about? Her voice cracked into a sob. I never loved him, the baby's father. It was a mistake. You were the only one who stayed. I felt nothing. Just cold clarity. And you used me like a life raft. Congratulations. You just sank the ship. She collapsed to the floor, begging, clawing at my jeans, but I stepped away. For the first time in years, I felt light. Untouchable. By Tuesday, Ryan's contracting license was officially suspended. His crew walked off the job site, leaving him alone with unfinished walls and a mountain of debt. Neighbors whispered. Clients fled. His phone buzzed until he hurled it against a wall. By Wednesday, Cole disappeared entirely. Some said he'd left town to dodge his debts. Others claimed he was hiding in a cheap motel on the edge of the city. Either way, his reputation was toast. By Thursday, Darlene's estate froze under federal review. Bank accounts locked. Cars repossessed. That queen bee, who once strutted around town, now looked like a widow begging for scraps. And Erin? By Friday night, she was gone. Packed her clothes into garbage bags, slipped out with shaking hands, and drove away in silence. No goodbye, no fight left. Just gone. But the story didn't end there. Because remember how they wanted to record me? To plaster my humiliation across social media? Well, thanks to my careful leaks, the internet did get a show. Just not the one they planned. Clips of Erin shrieking at me on the driveway went viral in a local gossip group. Screenshots of #FreedomDinner turned into memes. People joked about Ryan's renovations falling apart like his life. Darlene's audit became small-town legend. Even Cole's loan shark trouble turned into dark comedy fodder. The Myers family became the circus, and I was the ringmaster. Saturday night, I sat on the porch, the world quiet around me. For the first time in 12 years, I wasn't carrying their weight. No sneers, no whispers, no knife waiting in the dark, just peace. And yet, under that peace, there was fire, anger, irony, triumph. They wanted to break me, and instead, I'd carved their names into local history as the family who tried to go viral and burned themselves alive. Here's the part I'll never forget. As I closed my eyes, breathing in the night air, my phone buzzed one last time. A voicemail from Erin. Her voice was hoarse, shaking. Nate, I'm sorry. You won. We lost everything. I hope someday you can forgive me. I deleted it without listening further. Because forgiveness? That was never part of my plan. I'd promised myself years ago that if they tried to destroy me, I'd make sure the ending was explosive. And it was. They wanted a viral downfall. I gave them one. And the internet never forgets. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.